Check, check, check. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. This is Agent Cory Banks, Realtor 007. And this is another episode of Should My Money Be Scared, where we tackle different aspects of the real estate industry and that's being affected by COVID-19. And so far, we've spoken with mortgage lenders, hard money lenders. We've also spoken with other realtors, property managers, landlords, and rehabbers. And today we're going to speak with one of my favorite guys, my number one home inspector. And the point of this show is to just tackle different aspects. And there's a lot of misconception about different things that's happening in the real estate industry. And I just want to be able to make sure that we know and we're informed as to what's going on. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring my guy, Bryant Wilkins, my number one home
How you doing
inspector.
today?
What's up, man?
I'm living the dream. How you feeling?
Man, I am amazing.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Uh, That's always the best way I can say it. I wake up in the mornings and I'm just amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love it. I love it.
So, um, I know things are crazy out there in this whole environment that we're in.
Yeah, it definitely is.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna definitely tackle it. And if you guys are just joining in, this is Agent Cory Banks with Should My Money Be Scared. If you guys have any questions, any comments, please leave them in the comment section, and I'll be sure to get those on for you. So first, tell my people who you are and what it is that you do, even though I already told them.
No worries, no worries. I'm Bryant Wilkins, owner of Advanced Home Inspections. We perform residential inspections, environmental inspections to include mold, lead paint, radon. We do sewer scope inspections. We perform rental inspections in both Baltimore City and Baltimore County. We perform thermography. That allows us to see through the walls if there's any type of moisture intrusion for your property, which is highly, highly, highly recommended. Um, so we just do pretty much all of some of the dirty work for the real estate transaction.
Now I'm gonna ask a crazy question because some people don't really understand or know what a home inspection is. So, from a home inspector's definition, what is a home inspection?
A home inspection will be a third party, unbiased inspection. So we have no type of obligation, legality to the inspection. We're there to represent the buyer and only the buyer.
Hmm.
So we cannot pass an inspection and we cannot fail an inspection. It's ultimately up to the buyer if they choose to move forward with it. But we're just there to give them at time of inspection conditions of the
Hmm.
property. Because at the end of the day, we cannot forecast what the future may hold. But at that moment, that was the condition of the property.
Now, one thing I want to make very clear in what you said, unbiased.
Mhm.
Even though I'm saying that you're my number one guy, my number one recommended guy when it comes to home inspections, it's only a recommendation.
Mhm.
But even though I'm recommending you, you're also letting people know that it's unbiased. You're working for the buyer, not for me, not for the seller, not for the seller's agent, strictly for the buyer.
Absolutely, absolutely. So at the beginning of every inspection, like I tell all my customers, I work for you at the end of the day, and we know that this is one of the biggest purchases of your life. So we make sure that you understand that we're not working for the realtors, we're not working for the sellers, we're working for you. And at the end of the day, that should be that. If you have any questions, you need to ask. There's no stupid question. We're here. That's what we're here for.
Right. So, and I'm gonna start off a little slowly today because of the fact that you know, I by me having retail clients and also investor clients is
Mhm.
always this uh, misconception as to what the other should do. Right.
Okay.
For instance, when I speak to my investors, they're like, "Well, I put the house under contract first, and then I go get it inspected." No, no, you know That's on the retail side.
Right.
But then on the retail, they're like, well, shouldn't I have someone check it out first before I put it under contract? Now
Okay.
what's the again, and I find myself explaining this a lot. So again, from the home inspector's preview, what's the difference between the two?
So we're now discussing pre-listing inspections versus buyer's inspections, correct?
And as an investor, and it looked like you froze up. It looked like you froze up here.
Yeah, it looked like I did too.
Okay. Well, we just have it as a picture then.
Right.
No, but when I say investors, like my investor buyers
Okay.
versus my retail buyers.
Okay. So by saying that, for your investor buyers, I'm not too sure why it's froze up so bad. For your investor buyers, does it make sense? Yes, it does make sense to have a home inspection. Now there's different variations we can assist you with. We have inspector inspections where sometimes they don't want to know about the cosmetic end. They don't want to know if there's a hole in the wall because that's planning on getting ripped out. But their focus is going to be literally foundation, mechanical, electrical, roof, and plumbing. We can tackle that and leave that alone, even when it comes to a property that is at auction. We can walk through and do a verbal inspection with the actual client so they know because you have that limited window. But it's all about the intent. Also, when it comes to the retail side, buyers should absolutely get home inspections. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You should get a home inspection. And if you don't, then you are walking into possibly a huge headache or a major mistake. So that's what, at the end of the day, it has to get done.
Right.
So
and the reason why I want to make that distinction is because when I'm speaking to an investor, understand an investor and a retail buyer, or an investor buyer and a retail buyer have two different purposes. The retail buyer is looking to move into the property and they're going to live in it long term. There you go. We're back.
Yeah, I had to try it up. Had to try something different.
Okay. Don't get on no Teddy Riley stuff with us, okay? Just make that very clear.
No worries.
Nelly caught it Saturday, so I don't want Bryant to be the third on the Teddy Riley train. But,
oh, buddy, love it. I love it.
But I want to make sure that I make that distinction because of the fact that when a retail buyer is purchasing, the retail buyer is purchasing for the purpose of living there. They're going to be there for a long time, and they want to know how the house is operating and things like that. For an investor buyer is purchasing for the sole purpose of income.
Right.
To either make money as to rent it out. And they're going to rehab it most times anyway, but to rent it out or to flip it. So therefore, you want to get that. You want to get the inspection, or at least have a contract to look at it prior to you purchasing that property, because you want or prior to putting in an offer, because you want to know what your numbers are. Absolutely. To make sure that those numbers make sense.
Absolutely.
Now, since this whole thing, we've had conversations here and there, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And so this is what I want to know.
Okay.
First, because when we're talking about home inspection, is normally we're in close proximity, right? So with social distancing, how are you guys doing home inspections now? Are you doing it differently?
Yeah, great question. So what we're doing now is we're asking for a limited amount of people to actually come to the property, because we ultimately have to show respect to the sellers if they still occupy the property. So that's a big thing. So lately, we've been asking that the buyers actually attend at the very end of the inspection, or we can conduct Zoom inspections. We can conduct we'll perform the inspection and then come back to the buyer when they have the inspection report in hand, and we will do a Zoom. So we're doing a virtual consultation also. So that's been working out well. We've been doing it via Zoom, FaceTime, Duo, any outlet that you can stream or provide video, and that's what we've been doing. It's been working out really well. A lot of realtors love it. It's actually taking a lot of time off of the inspection, the original inspection time.
Yeah.
The inspector can actually focus in on the actual property versus answering every questions every 3 minutes and getting distracted.
And how long does a normal inspection take?
Ballpark figure, general, square footage? Give me a square footage, and I can pretty much.
Baltimore townhome.
Baltimore
1,200 square feet.
2.5 hours. But now, without all the buyers and the realtors not there, the family's not there, it's been roughly about an hour and a half.
Okay.
Literally and depending on, we've reconstructed our inspection reports, so it's more intuitive. So you know exactly what we're referring to and the locations of certain items. So it's not a guessing game.
Okay.
So that's easier.
And again, if you guys are just joining in, you're watching Should My Money Be Scared with Agent Cory Banks, Realtor 007. And today I am interviewing my man Bryant Wilkins of Advanced Home Inspections. So if you guys have any questions, any comments, please leave them in the comment section and I'll be sure to get them answered for you. And we have a few people saying hello. What's up, Denise? What's up, David? Hello, Tiffany. Just want to acknowledge a few people who have commented. Now, for the people who don't know, normally what happens is you get a home inspection, you go over with the inspector, and you guys look at the whole property and from every nook and cranny, and the home inspector will teach you how the property operates, pretty much. And then after the home inspection, you'll get an inspection report that will spell out the different things, the different areas of concern or the different issues to tell you what needs to be fixed, what needs to be watched out for. And then we can take that as an agent, we can take that home inspection and then we'll present it to the seller's agent and say, these are the things that we would like to fix. And sometimes it might be a lender requirement with those things that needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
We've been through some things, so I know why you're laughing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think we all do some things.
We'll get to that later. Definitely.
Oh my gosh, man.
Now, so what you're saying right now is the buyer does not have to be there, and really because of COVID-19, or the current environment, you guys really don't want the buyers to be there. You could do it virtually.
So, let me reframe that. So,
okay,
we always want the buyer to be there. Truthfully,
okay,
they're purchasing the property, but at the end of the day, we have to worry about inspector safety and the occupants who live in the property.
Right.
So, if it's a vacant house, me personally, me and my guys, we all wear masks, gloves, etc. So, if you want to be there, just be prepared that we will have our mask on, we will have our gloves on, our footies on. When we speak, you might be frustrated because they're talking from mask on.
What's that?
But at the end of the day, it's all about safety.
Right, definitely.
So, and the biggest thing, if the buyer and the buyer's agent is going to be there, one or two, I don't mind that at all. But if you want to bring, my father, my son, my daughter, the uncle from that did construction in 1984, yeah, that's when I have a bigger issue at this current environment, because ultimately we're trying to obey to all the laws, the laws of the land, but it's kind of tough sometimes, And
look, if you're a realtor, and you'll understand why we're laughing, because what happens at a home inspection. Well, first of all, and the thing that we always find hilarious is in any real estate transaction, there's always someone who knows real estate.
Oh my gosh, they know everything.
Right. So they purchased a home 10 years ago, and now they know, or they watch HG television, and now they know everything about real estate.
I love them.
Now you get to the home inspection, and you have this buyer who comes in, and she has like a family reunion at the home inspection, right? And then it's always that one person, the father, the uncle, family friend who is a handyman or they used to do something and they know everything about the home inspection
Right.
process.
Oh, I mean, and you know what? And I love those guys too, because sometimes you can have them assist you with the home inspection because ultimately it's a happy time. Everybody's there for a good reason.
Right, right,
So,
definitely.
and when you see those individuals and you've been around the real estate world for a while, sometimes there's some direct eye contact with certain people that's
Right,
associated with the deal.
right,
At that time, as professionals, that's when we have to learn how to use them to our best. So, hey, you might say, hey, did you see something in the third bedroom on the second floor?
right,
I haven't been on the second floor, but let him go find something and come back and
right,
talk so he feels a part. And I mean,
right.
at the end of the day, we just want to make everybody happy.
Right. And honestly, I welcome that because it just adds that extra dynamic to the transaction. And,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I welcome it because I mean, I know what I'm talking about. And
mm-hmm.
I'm always well and you may offer something that I didn't like. Well, you know what? I really didn't know that. So I'm fine with it.
Right.
But it still adds that extra dynamic that we can
Oh,
definitely talk about.
man, I had one the other day, and hopefully, she was a very nice lady. But she walked in and told me, she said, yeah, I flipped one house in my life. I know everything.
Wow.
Whoa. Blew me off my rocker. I said, whoa. Well, I'm not too sure what am I supposed to do. I mean, but she learned so much out of the
Right.
inspection. And now actually that deal didn't go through, so we got a second deal. And she was right there. She said, "I know what you're gonna look for." By the time I got there, she did the home inspection for me. She did it. There was still some other things that she didn't find, but it was
Right.
good to have that second set of eyes.
Right. Definitely.
There. And she was happy for her daughter. She went back and told all her friends and actually made additional business with that and made the realtor. The realtor was happy. She made additional
Right.
business. So it's a win-win for everybody. Just knowing how to deal with everybody.
Oh, definitely. Because you know me, when I'm done, I'm part of the family. I'm being invited to cookouts,
Right. I
all
want to be
types
there.
of stuff.
I want to
Right.
be there. Gifts and
Right.
everything.
Right. So I'm uncle, brother, Corey, whatever.
I
You know.
understand.
So let me ask you, with in dealing with COVID-19, right?
Okay.
Has any are there any new regulations or are there any new best practices? I know we talked about the virtual inspections, but are there any other new regulations or best practices during this time?
Well, right now for the home inspection industry, a lot of our organizations and groups there, a lot of us fellow home inspectors belong to have already adopted COVID training.
Okay.
So all of my guys have went through that literally as soon as they shut the state down. We were there. We were
Hmm.
on COVID training, being prepared, being knowledgeable. When it comes to new regulations, um, I want to make sure I say this right. DLR, Department of Labor and Labor Licensing and Regulations, they provided some guidance.
I see you being very careful with your words right now. I see. Okay.
They provided some guidance, but it was very general.
Okay.
So by saying that, our big thing as an individual company, absolutely at the end of the day is safety is safety. So
Right.
making sure we're taking the precautions, adding those additional emails to the client when they order the inspection, so we can ensure that they get a full understanding of what the inspection will consist of now and
Right.
the limited amount of people. That's the biggest thing, the people.
Hmm.
The amount of people. So it hasn't been significant, nothing really, really big, but there has been some small changes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have a question from Denise. Hey Denise. So she's asking, is it a good time to become a home inspector? And thanks for your question.
Ooh, is it a good time to become a home inspector? Well, I would say, because when I came into the home inspection world, is when we had the last real estate debacle.
Mm.
And I've learned so much from that. So
Hmm.
right now that we're still maintaining. For a new inspector, I always recommend that you may want to work for a company first.
Hmm.
Okay. By saying that, and I know I'm kind of dancing around your question a little bit, but there's a reason I'm doing this, and I'll tie it all back together. When you go to a home inspection school, they teach you the bare minimum so you can pass the test. That's my belief. Only the views of myself. Um,
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
and I like to say they tell you just enough not to get sued.
Okay.
You need that OJT, that on the job training, learning, being able to ask questions from a senior inspector.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, with the limited amount of properties on the market, as a new home inspector, it may be a little difficult. You may be checking your phones to see if your phone is still on. Because it's tough right now. Literally,
Right.
it's really, really tough. And
Right.
so the traditional way of marketing for a home inspector has changed dramatically over the last 2 months. I mean, it completely changed.
How so?
It used to work, doesn't. Like we
How?
can't walk into a agent's office anymore.
Okay.
Who's there? Nobody.
Right. Exactly.
So how do you market now?
Yeah, I walked into my office the other day. It was like a ghost town in there.
Right.
You
And
know, crazy.
after this change, and with Zoom and all these other platforms, who's really going to be in the office now?
Mm-hmm. Right. And you know what? I never thought about, and that's why I like having these conversations, because I never thought about the limited inventory, and the home inspector not having enough work now, or limited work because of the limited inventory. I never really thought about it like that.
Yep.
Now, well, how, if that's the case, how are you guys marketing because of COVID-19, and
Now,
marketing has to be different?
I can't give you all my trade
Okay.
secrets.
I
I can't give you all my trade secrets.
understand.
It's definitely a big social platform.
Okay.
It's definitely thinking outside the box. You know, trying to put that circle in a triangle. It's outside the box thinking. Anything that was that was popular 2 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead, throw it in the corner. Let's got reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Literally reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
And now it's really getting to the point now, and because realtors are such a big portion of our business, it's the like me, love me, trust me. So now it's really trying to make people like you.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that, hey, we're not deal killers. We're here to assist.
Right.
But it's a little bit difficult when we can't go to those offices anymore. And the other thing is now, even though there's limited inventory that we see, houses are getting multiple offers, 13, 14 offers, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Once the market or this COVID clears up, there's going to be a tremendous amount of inventory hitting the market.
Mm-hmm.
So for those realtors who have potential sellers, we have to start looking at pre-listing inspections. Let's jump ahead of the curve. Let's look at the property and see what they can fix now, before the next home inspector comes in and give you a list of 50, 60 items. You could be ahead of it.
Now, I want to dig into your statement a little more.
Okay.
Because and again, you know, you're coming from a different perspective versus the real estate investor, the real estate agent, and you're saying that your prediction is once this is over, there's going to be a lot of inventory that's hitting the market. So my question would be, what do you see right now that leads you to that belief?
Well, when this all happened, you got to realize that, and I remember reading a couple articles, and the majority of the sellers didn't want people coming and entering their property. Mm-hmm. Now, think about it. As a realtor, you may go show somebody 5, 6, 7 houses for a transaction. People don't want those people in their house during this epidemic.
Right.
So a lot of them pulled them off. Pulled the house off, they will wait it out. Mm-hmm. So you got people that's going to be, you still have the spring and summer market that was buyers getting ready to want to purchase so they can have everybody moved in by September. Cool. You got sellers that want to sell their house so they can be in their next house by September if they have children for school purposes, etc. But we have COVID.
Right.
So as soon as we can get, like Baltimore City to Baltimore County, the limited stage 1, once we can get people up and moving and understand the significance of wearing a mask and putting comfort
Right.
Letting people feel comfortable. Hey, people have been having cabin fever.
Right. Yeah.
More people get out and feel comfortable. Say, hey, well, I did go out to the mall. Hey, I did go to Ocean City. I'm fine.
That just happened on Saturday. People went buck wild, like
Right.
Friday,
Absolutely.
Saturday night. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the more people feel comfortable, hopefully the inventory, people will say, okay, let's get more people in. Let's try to sell this house now. I feel comfortable. But once again, that's only my prediction. Literally from mid-March till April, I've seen a dramatic tank in business because of this. But slowly but surely, people, that cabin fever, people's like, oh, whoa, I got to get out. I got to do something. And I've seen a change in the market slowly but surely. It's not where we would expect it to be at, but it's getting there.
So here's what I see and what my prediction, and I've been saying this for the past 3 to 4 weeks now.
Okay.
I'm looking from what I see. I see that business is still happening, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we've had some people pulling their properties off the MLS, and we still have people that's looking to buy. Mm-hmm. So my prediction is coming out of this, what is going to happen, I believe that is going to end up, and understand there's two sides of this market as well, right? You have the retail, you have the investor. So coming out of this, I believe that is going to, on the retail side, is going to end up being a balanced market, right? Okay. At first, because those at some point those the ones that's been pulled off the market is going to catch up with the buyers that's there. Right. But then once those houses are sold, now inventory goes back down again, and it goes back to being the seller's market. Right. The other part is on the investor side. I think the investor side is still going to have enough inventory. It's still going to be an investor's, as far because you have banks that still have inventory that hasn't been released yet.
Right. And that's what I wanted to get to too, because I think the investor market is going to be stronger.
Yeah.
Even stronger. Yeah. It's going to be, there's going to be tons of opportunity. Mm-hmm. And we, at the end of the day, even though we're going through this, there's some people that need money.
Right. Right.
And there's going to be a lot of cash deals going on around that things you can't refuse. So it's going to be very strong. And I think it's strong right now for the investors, actually. But
I'm gonna tell you which one of my investors are winning. Okay. My investors that's winning right now are the ones that's buying with cash, because some of the hard money lenders, they pulled their money and they're waiting to see what's gonna happen. But I have some cash buyers, and they're coming in like, look, we'll close in 2 weeks, no contingencies. And then you have other people, well, let me see about my financing, and like I have at least about four cash buyers and one on the way after the conversation. And they're like, look, they're moving.
It's there. It's there. Right. Anything slow down. But with those, by saying that, it's still good to have a home inspection. Between that day, even though there's no contingent, at least know what you're purchasing. Because at the end of the day, even though it's a cash deal, that furnace might not be working.
And I would even say it's more important to have the home inspection or some type of inspection when it's a cash deal, because of the fact that that's the difference between a hard money loan and cash. Once you purchase the property with your own money, that's your money that's locked into that deal. Yep. If it's a hard money loan, the only thing you put up was the amount to put down on that property. Right. So you still have some money left over. Right. If you would depend on how much money you're starting with. So if you're looking at, let's say, $100,000, and the hard money lender is saying put down 20, right? Mm-hmm. Now, okay, no one wants to lose $20,000, but it's better than losing 100,000. Right.
Right. So better than 100. So right. It's up in the air right now on how the market actually going to fall out. Mm-hmm. But I do see it having a strong rebound. Mm-hmm. And when it does, everybody's going to be happy.
Yeah.
It deals for everybody. Because if you drive around the city, the county, you still see houses getting fixed up. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that people got to realize. Even though you're out here and people are cooped up, essential personnel were able to go out. And a lot of the contractor trades were still working.
Yeah.
And don't ever forget that. Contractors were still working.
Go to Home Depot. You'll see.
Right, right. And everybody was still working except essential personnel. I mean,
Right.
still working except those that, that work in certain industries.
Mm.
So there's still going to be a strong, strong, strong rebound.
Right.
That's what I foresee.
Definitely.
Yep.
Now, since we're talking about investors and things like that, right? And we talked about retail versus investors. Um, right now, right now, with Baltimore City, and I just had it here with Baltimore City as some other municipalities,
Mhm.
we've recently started to do the rental inspections.
Yes.
Now, is there a difference between your retail home buyer inspection versus a rental inspection? Is there?
Absolutely. It's 100% like a 360. So when it comes to the rental inspections for the city and for the county, they have a list that identifies what items they need to be inspected.
Mhm.
So biggest things when it comes for the city, the smoke detectors on each level, carbon monoxide detectors, making sure that the property is in a habitable form, that we don't have hot water, running water, toilet flushes, no leaks, in that nature. So it's more of it's not um, a 500 step inspection.
Mhm.
It's a safety inspection. Let's just make sure that the tenant has a decent place to live and stay,
Mhm.
and have the have functioning items in the property. So that alone, at least, I mean, some of these rental inspections depend on, if it's a newer house, if it's a older house. I mean, we're talking 30 minutes or less,
Right.
depending
Mhm.
on the condition of the property. And sometimes, we have tenants that are there and the house is a little rough, and they tell us everything. And this is the time for them to do that, because at that time, the inspector is the advocate.
Mhm.
We're not going to pass this when, I think I heard last week when Crystal was talking on a show, when you have, you're requesting $1,000 a month, but the whole living room ceiling is gone.
Right.
You living in, I mean, you wouldn't have your family live in these conditions, but
Right.
your money every month. So this is
Mhm.
we're the advocates at that point,
Mhm.
and I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been a lot of, when the system first rolled out for the city, there was a lot of confusion,
Mhm.
but I believe they got a little bit better.
It was
And
Baltimore City, so.
no comment. But by saying that, I think the program is definitely doing well and is helping a lot of people out. But once again, it's definitely a difference between that and the home inspection. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always, like I said, because I talk to a lot of retail
Mm-hmm.
clients, and then I have a lot of investor clients,
Right.
and trying to get them to understand these differences. The two are not the same.
Right. And I think when you say the word inspection, oh, everybody just put their head down.
Right.
Papers are flying in the air. Everybody thinking it's the bad guy. Sometimes we're not the bad guy. We're not. We just, we're there for a reason. And if you understand rental law, or you understand home inspector, if you're a investor, I'm pretty sure you understand tenant. This is a tenant state.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
by saying that, I mean, the information is on the Baltimore City website, housing website, what we're looking for exactly. So literally, you could take 3 minutes on your smartphone and say, do I have this? Yes. Do I have this? Yes. Do I have this? Yes. And if you pass or fail as soon as the inspector gets there.
Right.
So,
Now, so with that being said, what is your recommendation? I am an investor,
mhm.
and now I have to get my property inspected.
Okay.
What would the recommendation be for what do I need to do as um as an
Landlord,
investor? Yeah, as a landlord getting my house ready for inspection.
do you want me to walk you through it?
Just oh, what happened? Hello? Up. Give me 1 second here. I think we lost him, but we'll get him back in a second. And once again, this is Agent Cory Banks with Should My Money Be Scared? And again, if you guys are just joining the broadcast as we work to get my man Bryant back, if you guys are just joining the broadcast, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section. As we were getting into Any recommendations? Wait a minute, and I think we got him back. There we go.
Yeah, my fault. I'm sorry about that. I got kind of excited. I got
Well,
really excited about that.
Brian, is not your phone. It's the service that you're on.
Hey, I'm going to say it's the user at this point. I was going to say the user on this point. I'm not afraid to say it. So let me see. I'm getting everything up for you right now. So Baltimore City. I'm literally pulling up the inspection paperwork as we speak.
Okay.
So what we have. Please give me 1 second. Getting expanded up a little bit.
And again, this is my guy, Brian Wilkins with Advanced Home Inspection. And we're just covering a few things when it comes to inspections, especially the environment around COVID-19. And I just want to make sure people have as much information as possible.
Right. So, okay. So when it comes to the rental inspection list for Baltimore City, first thing they want to know, do you have railings on the interior and exterior of the property if you have 3 or more steps? People usually get that confused. If you have 3 risers, that's when you need a railing. If you have 2 risers and a platform, a walkway, you do not need a railing.
Okay.
Understanding the difference between when you need the railings and when you don't. But once again, this is all on the inspection paperwork that Baltimore City provided.
Real quick, can you send that to me? Can you send that to me right now? I can put it up on the screen.
Yep. Let me get you one without my signature on
it. Email it to me.
Yes, sir.
I'll put it up on the screen for the people.
No problem. Let me get you one common documents. City.
Now, while you're doing that, what are some of the clients' concerns during COVID-19?
When you say clients' concerns, I got to make sure I put the right hat on. So, which one are you referring to?
Retail buyers. What are the retail buyers' concerns, and also the sellers as well?
The biggest thing, like I said, is been how the amount of people in the property. That's going to be it. That everybody knows the house has to get inspected, and at this point, all right, it's actually I said it to you. So
okay.
At this point, everybody just wants the limited amount of people in the house, and for those that are home for the rental process, it's more of, are there any underlying conditions for the people that are in the property when we come and do the inspections for rentals? Because a lot of them times they're still there.
Right.
So, like I just went to a house the other day. Child had leukemia. So we got to think about that. Make sure you have the proper precautions. And when you're ordering these inspections, let the customer care team know what's going on. And when I say customer care team, that's the people that answer my phone to refer to the customer care team. Let them know so we can put them in the notes so we can adjust accordingly. Because at the end of the day, we don't know what's going on in your house until you tell us.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing. We all about, like I said, safety is everything.
Right. I mean, and that information is definitely key because we don't know, and we need, like you said, we need to have as much information as possible.
Right.
So with all of that being said, is there anything you guys are doing differently when it comes to your approach?
Good question. I got to really think about this because a lot of stuff is second nature to me.
All right.
So now it's like when you're asking me, do we do anything different besides the PPE?
And explain what PPE is.
Personal protective equipment. So pretty much your mask, your gloves. There's cold coveralls, sanitizing. Yeah, we're wiping down everything. So literally every doorknob, every appliance we're touching, we're wiping it down.
Now, is that before, after, or both?
Both.
Okay.
We're doing that on both sides of the house. I'm just thinking, I'm going through it as we go along, and that's been one of the biggest things that we've definitely changed with is wiping everything down. And I'm sorry, I'm just drawing a blank right now.
No, it's fine. You know what? Look, I understand because I do stuff or you do things on a regular basis, but when someone asks you how to do it, you're like, How do I do that? Because you're just so used to doing it.
Yeah, muscle memory. It's a lot of muscle memory.
Right.
But yeah, the biggest thing, and that's been a change, is frequent glove changes is huge. Wiping everything down. Once again, the booties, but we've been wearing booties regardless on the boots, so we make sure that we don't track anything inside the property. One thing we have done, and it's a little different, but now we've started on the inside of the property versus the exterior. We want to limit the amount of time that we're outside in the world, in the outside in elements, before we enter the property. So now, instead of getting there 30 minutes earlier so we can knock out the outside, and when you get there, we can do all this, we get there 15 minutes. So when you're there, we walk directly into the property, wipe everything down. And then go ahead, sorry.
No, yeah, I was going to explain that whole concept.
Right. And then after we're done, we actually do the exterior, which is, it makes it 100 times better. Yep.
Okay. And I want to explain that concept, because normally what happens is when we're doing a home inspection, as working on trying to get that document up.
Okay.
But again, when we're dealing with technology, you know how that work out sometimes. But I'll figure it out. But normally what happens with the home inspection, a lot of times the home inspector, they'll start off on the outside first, looking at the roof, looking at the brick and mortar, the rails and things like that. But you're saying that now, instead of starting out on the outside, you guys are starting out on the inside.
Correct. That's something we chose to do.
Okay.
We found that it's more effective and people feel more comfortable. Once again, especially depending if the house is occupied. When they see us come from the vehicle directly to the property, that gives them a little bit of comfort and bring them at ease. We don't want them 1,000. We want them to feel relaxed. Hey, we are here. We're not trying to intrude on you or anything. We just want to do our job and make sure everybody's happy. So by saying that, that's worked out really, really well so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because people, they're out there, man. Why you had me out here? This crazy.
Right.
COVID out here or something.
Right.
And I'm go ahead.
No, I was ready to just go back into the rental piece if you wanted to, since if we're having some difficulties, we can definitely walk through this step process.
Yeah, definitely. Let's here we go. I got it. Let me get the back up. One moment. Boom.
And I can tell you some fun tips when it comes to this inspection checklist, because Baltimore City, even though they have this checklist, they actually have a home inspector guidance that people bypass and never pay attention to. There we go.
All right. Getting some gems too. Go ahead.
Yeah. So right now, as you can see, the first item is item A, which is the railings, which we spoke about. And once again, this checklist is available on the Baltimore City website, so you can have it and find it at any time. Second thing, does the property has gas, an active gas meter? Is it in service? Do we have electricity? All common things that a regular house would have. Do we have any electrical wires that are visible in a living space? And a living space is actually a place where a tenant may reside. So once again, if you have outlet covers off or a switch cover plate off, we need to put them on. Light fixtures, are they functioning? And once again, are they properly protected? Common sense stuff. Smoke detectors, are they properly installed and operational? Now, this is where the fun part comes in. If you in Baltimore City, depending on the age of the property, they have different requirements for the smoke detectors and the carbon monoxide detectors. By saying that, when you go to the Baltimore City website and you click on the link for this particular checklist, if you look right below it, it's going to say home inspector guidance. You click that, it breaks down every single item on the checklist, depending on based off the age of the property, the exact locations, the whole 9 yards. So, I mean, that right there alone is a key. Is key to this. Do you have carbon monoxide detectors installed in the right location? Do you have both hot and cold water running? They have a minimum temperature of 110 degrees.
But
once again,
a lot of common sense stuff, right?
Very common sense. So sometimes we don't want to look too deep into this. Yes, once again, like we stated before, yeah, the inspector is coming. We're not here to kill you. We actually have a list of things that we need to do, and it's common sense stuff that you can find.
And real quick, the reason why you keep saying we're not here to kill the deal, because you have some inspectors, they may be perceived as deal killers because they get every single thing. Like, no, we can't pass it, but they're putting every single thing they see on the inspection report.
Right, and I understand that it's a CYA piece on as the home inspector, and we can talk about that at any time about that. But let's finish this stuff real quick, and we can talk about the CYA piece. Does any plumbing fixtures leak? Once again, if you got any leaks, that means you're damaging your property, so you want to get on top of that. Does the toilets flush? You'd be surprised, a lot of houses' toilets don't flush. People pay rent. They deserve a flushing toilet.
Yeah, you're right.
Does the property appear to be free of interior leaks from water supply lines or waste lines? We don't want any type of feces or defecation coming inside the property, which is extremely important.
Right.
Where a lot of people get hemmed up at, because the older infrastructure in Baltimore City, we have cast iron.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a house that was built in 1930, 1920, 1950, we're looking at 70-plus-year-old plumbing systems. And with cast iron, it corrodes from the inside out.
Right.
So it fails and it starts build up on the inside, then it exposes itself on the exterior side.
Mm-hmm.
So with a lot of the older properties, this is starting to be one of the failing points of the inspection report. Next thing, windows. Make sure they open and close and have locks on them. Really common stuff. All entry doors, and they actually close and have working locks on them. And this is where
how many points on the rental side? How many points would you say that? Because where the retail buyer side has what you said, like 500 points or something like that.
About 5, roughly. I mean, it all depends on the size of the house and what's in it. So yeah, roughly 500.
But for a rental inspection, how many points would you say the rental inspection will have?
For Baltimore City, about 20, if that, and for Baltimore County, maybe 12.
Okay, and I can understand why.
Yeah,
I can understand why.
I understand, but it's simple stuff though. Literally, this is the stuff that you would want if your family lived in the property.
Right.
And it's really simple. So once again, when it comes to these inspections, it's nothing to be scared about.
Which scares off a lot of people when they hear that word inspection. Oh my goodness. Now is it true? Which one would you say is more detailed or more of a strict inspection? Section 8 or just the regular home inspection?
Great question. So as home inspectors, we can't do Section 8 inspections. They have their own inspectors that work for the particular agency.
Right.
So with the city and county, they have allowed third-party inspectors to perform the inspections on their behalf.
Okay.
Versus Section 8.
Mm-hmm.
From my dealings with investors and landlords and being a landlord once upon a time myself, I found that the Section 8 law or inspectors differs depending on the inspector that comes out.
Right.
So I think the cities in Baltimore City and Section 8 are very neck to neck.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on the inspector and how they're feeling that day. And I hate to say, I want to emphasize feeling.
Look, I understand.
That day.
I understand.
Because some days we have a bad day, and at that point, everything gets written up. And it's not nothing that the landlord or the buyer or the seller did. It's just somebody ruined it for somebody.
You know, I had this conversation when I had Chris on the broadcast on was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. And that's one thing we talked about building those relationships. Not to say that they'll let stuff slide by, but when you build certain relationships, you're able to have certain conversations or get things done a different way.
Right. The thing I like to say is there's black, there's white, and there's gray area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good day. And we know when you build those bonds and relationships and network appropriately, we can see things and we can get things done in a professional way that still falls under the law, but still make sure the process continues to move forward.
Right. Because when I was in property management, one of the properties that I had, I was managing, it was like almost 400 units. And the thing about it, this was a newly acquired property, and it was under Section 8. Well, it was their first Section 8 property, and they were under renovation. So
okay. It's a little up and down. So now we're dealing with different codes at that point.
Right. So and we're consistently going there because it's under renovation, which means that we were renovating all the new units. So we're moving people out. As people move out, we renovate the unit, and we're switching people over to another unit to renovate that unit, and then, but for the people that were on Section 8, then the inspector had to come, even though it was a newly renovated unit. Already knew they were going to find some. They were going to find something, right?
At the end of the day, I think the biggest thing people realize, even like you said, brand new renovated,
right?
Inspector's going to find something.
Exactly. And
if they don't find something, something's wrong.
But here's the thing: the stuff they were finding, we're like, come on. It was like, well, this pipe is an inch shorter. I'm like, does that really matter? It was like little things like that where they would have to come back and. It just got crazy. So, but the thing was, we had like the same inspector who was coming. There's like maybe 1 or 2 inspectors who will come out. We had the same inspector coming out.
You were lucky.
Right. So, and but at the same time, it also it afforded me the opportunity to build the rapport with those social workers, because I was down there, I'm a laugh, I'm a joke, I'm gonna make you feel comfortable to get what I need to get done.
I think the biggest thing when you building relationships, and depending on the setting, is if the inspector comes through once and there's some issues, let's not fight.
Right.
Go ahead and get it done. So when it happens again on the second time, we know that, hey, it's going to get done, and let's get this moving forward easily.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. Let's make it easy. And not saying that every inspector is we know everything and we lay the land of the law. Not at all. We're not saying that at all. It's just, there's a way to conduct business. And as long as we make this easy, we allow you to, because it's some points where some things can be corrected on site.
Right.
And if you want to be a butthole, you can prolong this process. But if not, hey, I could come right back. Not a problem. Get it fixed. I'll be back in an hour to get this done. So it's all about, like you said, it's all about the networking, making sure building those bonds. And because we're all here for one common chord. We're all here for the same thing. Real estate, and making sure people have a good place to live.
Right. So and that's the biggest thing. So as we get closer, my screen is frozen, but I'm gonna work this out. But as we look,
I still see you good though. I still see you good.
No, well, no, I have about three different devices I'm using here.
Right.
At this point, because one device froze up. Now I had to switch to the other one.
Okay.
Figure the whole thing out. But anyway,
we still gonna make it happen.
Right. The show must go on, right?
Absolutely.
But now in this, because as we're wrapping up, in this environment, right? What advice or recommendations would you give any of your clients because of the climate that we're in? And when it comes to home inspections, what are some of the recommendations you will give any retail buyer, seller, investor when it comes to home inspections?
Okay, seller, don't take this to heart. The home inspection, I mean, you lived in the house for X, Y, Z years. You witnessed your children grow up in that house, and now it's time to sell. Don't take it personal, because at the end of the day, you may have ignored some things, but we're just a third party unbiased opinion. And since everything is slowed down, take time, evaluate your property, do some landscaping, clean those gutters, anything that you would say, yeah, nobody's going to see that. Yeah, we'll find. And just don't take it personal when you get the report, because sometimes the length of the report can be eye-opening, and they didn't think their property had that many issues, which is every property has issues.
Right.
So just don't take it to heart, because I'm dealing with one right now as we speak. As soon as I get off the phone off this meeting with you, I got to deal with something with an angry seller. Buyers, my best recommendation is, I know the house is beautiful, but until the keys are in your hand, don't become emotionally tied. And that's the biggest thing, because when it comes to the home inspection process, usually after the home inspection and appraisal, that's the rough time.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get through that, we're smooth sailing. Hopefully your financing is good to go. Everything stays on A-OK. But that's the rough time. That's where you really, we have clients cry on us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a touchy, emotional time. Okay.
Yeah. That's when the real work begins, after the home inspection.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right. So by saying that, for the buyers, please just, take it one day at a time, one step at a time, and listen, learn as much as possibly, and see the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fall in love with the granite countertop. Worry about that mold behind the wall,
Right.
And that's what the home inspection is there. The home inspector is for. And investors, continue to do great things. Rehab properties, providing quality places for tenants to live. Be patient with the system now, because I know there's all these new rules out there concerning, raising rent and et cetera. Just be patient with the system. And when you hear the word inspector, don't get angry. Don't get angry, please. Don't get angry. And if anybody ever had a question, they can email me, shoot me a text or anything. I'll be more than welcome to answer any questions. If I work with you or not, that's what I do.
And how can the people get in contact with you?
Okay, no worries. You can text me directly at 410-297-7000. Once again, that's 410-297-7000. You can email me at office@advancedhomeinspections with a s.com. That's office@advance, ADVANCE, home inspections with a s.com. And just say, hey, I got this problem. Can you help me out? And I'm more than welcome to assist you with your issue. If it's really, really that bad, I will probably call you back directly right then and there if I'm not in and out of a property. So that's what we're all here for, to learn. And that's the biggest thing. Network and learn.
Definitely. And I mean, a lot of people don't realize a home inspection is very beneficial, because, like I said, on the investor side is looking at your numbers, making sure that and normally as a contractor, some people get a home inspector, but looking at your numbers and what you're looking for. I mean, that's what it is, right? Sometimes there's a difference.
There's a difference between a home inspector and a contractor.
Right. There's a difference. But I like both, because a contractor is going to tell me what to do on the cost end. Mm-hmm. The home inspector is going to prepare me for what to do when it comes down to getting that the permit, so I can be a landlord, or when it comes to what FHA or this other loan program is going to look out for and prepare me for those things.
Now, I got a question for you then. How do you feel when the home inspector is a home inspector and a contractor?
How do I feel? It could be a conflict of interest, but at the same time, if the home inspector, who's also a contractor, is giving me the information from both sides, then I'm fine, because now I know which way I can go. I have options.
Okay. Oh, interesting point of view. Interesting point of view. So I see it both ways. And for me, when it comes to the contractor versus the inspector, because I'm a home inspector, I've done work in houses, I would prefer those two to be separated. Only reason, because at what point when are you being a third party, unbiased giving you a third party unbiased opinion versus I'm trying to score this job and make a lot of money.
But it depends on the relationship as well. For
At the end of the
instance,
day, we're human. Let's be real.
no, no,
We're human.
I got you, but it also depends on the relationship, right? For
Okay.
instance, if let's say you and I, we have a great relationship, right?
Mhm, mhm.
I know from I've known you always to be trustworthy. You're gonna give it to me real, right? Okay, great. So if you're saying, and what you've always done, even with my clients, what you've always done is, if you have a quote unquote a conflicting point of view,
Mhm.
you'll give both points of views, but give the explanation as to why.
Right.
Now you can make an educated decision on which way to go based off of the information that I have, right?
Right.
But if I don't know you and I don't have that relationship, and your point of view is like, yeah, oh, this is messed up. It's not gonna pass inspection. But you know what? I can fix it for you.
Right.
$500.
Right.
That's a whole different conversation. Like,
Right. And that's what I
come on, man.
that's what I worry about. That's what I worry about. Sometimes I've seen this happen. I've
Right.
seen it happen multiple times. So I was just curious from the realtor's point of view, how did you see it? That's all.
But see, you have to also understand. I'm not always looking at it from the realtor's point. I'm investor first.
Right.
My mindset is investor first,
Right.
and then and that's how I look at the whole thing.
Right.
Okay,
that's different. That's different. I was just wondering. I always wanted to ask that question, just never had the opportunity to.
Bryant, I'm a weird guy anyway, so it's just.
I think we're all kind of weird. So yeah. Other than that, the big thing, home inspections are beautiful. Real estate is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. A lot of ups and downs, and the big thing when it comes to this too is, never mind. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm sorry. I was ready to go on a tangent about something. Never mind.
What I have to be mindful of, especially when it comes to certain people who I have relationships with, I have to be mindful that, because we can talk, we'll go in just so many different, because we could talk about roofing problems, if you know what I'm talking about.
All day, every day.
No. If you know what I'm talking about.
All day, every day.
That's what I'm saying. So that's a whole other conversation. So okay.
Did anybody have any questions about anything? And
no, it was just outside of a lot of times what happens with these shows. I mean, I'll get questions in the comments, but a lot of times what happens, people will go back and listen, or they'll text me or get in contact with me and have questions that way. How can you get in contact? Yeah. So that happens a lot.
That's not a problem. I mean, at the end of the day, I would love to talk. Like I said, I can talk about this all day. The pros, the cons, the CYA.
Well, if that's the case, let's schedule another time to get into those things, because I wanted this to be more related to just COVID-19, even though we got off topic with some things. Right. But let's set up another time to have that conversation and really dig into that, because a lot of people will have these misconceptions about a home inspection and how beneficial it really can be when you're purchasing a home.
We can make this a 10-part series. Yeah. You don't have to threaten me with a good time. So just let me know when, and we'll be more than willing. We'll get some training aids. We'll get the photos. We get diagrams. We can do the whole 9 yards. I mean, there's nothing to it but to do it.
Yeah, I was trying to get some pictures from you before. I wish I thought to ask you earlier. I could have got those up, because look, I know we have some shockers. Some shockers.
Photos. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That would be the least of it.
Well, Bryant, I appreciate you coming on and giving us the information when it comes to inspections around this environment that we're in. Mm-hmm. And just one more time, how can people get in contact with you?
Once again, they can text me at 410-297-7000. That's 410-297-7000. They can visit my website. We made it easy for anybody to get in contact with us. So if you type in BaltimoreCityHomeInspectors.com, that goes to my site. You type in Baltimore County home inspectors, lead paint inspectors, mold inspectors, anything you can think of that deals with inspections or inspectors, you type it in, it'll go to my site.
Let me my business partner, we call him the mad scientist, Charles Blair, which is saying right now, because that's one of the things that he's been teaching for years as far as keywords. he would love you right now.
Yeah. So at one time, I brought every URL that belonged to this in the state. I brought them all. So
Oh,
I'm a little heavy. So by saying that, you can go to my regular website, advancedhomeinspections.com, or you can email me at office@advancedhomeinspections.com.
okay. Well, Bryant, I appreciate you. And I'll be calling you in a little bit anyway because I have a few inspections I need you to take care
No
of for me.
worries. I'm always
So,
around. Let me know.
my man.
All right.
And for you guys, thank you for joining the program. Again, this is Should My Money Be Scared with Agent Cory Banks, Realtor 007. And we were doing each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but now it's just each and every Monday and Wednesday at 4 o'clock right here live. And I will see you guys on Wednesday at 4. And until then, happy Monday.
Have a good day.
Now we have to wait. Wait a minute. I
Okay.
told you everything froze up.
Yeah.
We're still live though. I don't. There we go. Okay, it's about to go down now.